Hey everyone, it's Ivan, KipAtcher.com, out here. Another episode of Coast to Coast, and we're on the road. So, quick update, bringing you up to right now at this point in time. I'm going to go ahead and bring you up to date first with kind of the last 48, 24 hours. So, I guess the last 48 hours, a couple last minute modifications to the bus. I'll kind of run you through those in a minute, but the last 24 hours has been pretty wild also. Yesterday, I ended up continuing to kind of round up everything, taking inventory, all the guns and everything that I have in, getting optics mounting a bunch of different stuff. EOTech came through with a bunch of really cool optics, getting some of those mounted, like EOTechs on some guns, and then actually getting some of the low power variables mounted into some ScalarWorks mounts, some of the Elite mounts. Also getting 5x25s, I guess they are, mounted onto both Rifle 301 as well as a 6.5 fix, 6.5 fix. Then, yesterday, ended up going up to the airport, picking up my buddy, my cameraman, HJ. He is going to be pretty much bringing a stream of content from this whole adventure. He's filming this right now. And then once we got back to the house, went through, kind of inventoried all of our camera gear. Again, continued collecting up stuff, started loading stuff on the bus. And then we drove back to the airport over in Spokane and picked up my buddy Noah from Wiseman Company. So if you're unfamiliar, Wiseman Company, they have their own YouTube channel. They do some cool stuff over there. The partner has been, as well as Noah. Noah's coming along for the trip. We're gonna meet up with Ben at the very end at JTAC Ranch. And yeah, Noah's gonna be creating a kind of parallel stream of content for this adventure as well. So 2 different places you can see a bunch of different content, kind of through like figuratively and literally 2 different lenses, but same story told through different eyes. Once that happened, came back to the house, dumped everything real quick, picked up my boys from their moms. Yesterday was my youngest, Ira's, birthday. So after picking him up, it was like, what do you want to do? And it's like, I want to go over and swim at the lake over by Tubbs Hill. And I was like, let's do this. So went over there, did some swimming with the goggles, managed to find a birthday quarter for him underwater where people had lost the quarter jumping off rocks. And then, yeah, went, jumped off rocks. It was fun. After that, grabbed some pizza, went back to the house, had some pizza, eventually a little bit of birthday cake, the boys, and then last night, in the 11th hour, got kind of the first big shipment of ammo from G9 Bullets, hand delivered at like 9 o'clock last night, and loaded that stuff onto the bus, getting ready to depart that next morning, which would be today. As far as some of the last minute modifications to the bus I did, I guess 2 days ago now. One, wanted to make sure we had an ice chest. So I needed to figure out a way to get that secure so it didn't turn into like a 50-pound projectile flying through the bus if something bad happened. So what I ended up deciding to do is there's already these metal brackets inside the bus that seats were mounted to. So I ended up using that as a platform, and rather than trying to put the ice chest straight onto it and have like a ratchet strap going around it to secure it that I would have to remove if I want to access it, what I ended up doing was basically building a platform out of plywood with kind of lips around it, and so that the ice chest can sit down in it. And then I threw some holes with a ratchet strap, could basically ratchet strap the handles of the ice chest down so it's secured, but you can still go ahead and actually undo and access the ice chest. So boom, we got a place for cold food storage, water, whatever we're gonna put in there. So that was good. The other thing while I was at it, while I had the saw and all that stuff out, is trying to figure out some other storage. I was actually at, I think it was Cabela's, trying to find something last minute, and I found these kind of plastic storage cases, and I'm like, oh, these are pretty handy. So in order to make them secure, which is important, I ended up basically cutting out essentially like a plywood plate that sits down right in the middle of those containers, and then I made another one for the bottom, so it's sandwiched between, drilled holes, and then bolted it again to one of those like metal brackets that the seats are usually mounted to. So I have both of those. One is kind of dry food, I have that in there, and then the other one I've set up, or I believe HJ actually has it set up for kind of camera gear, stuff along those lines. So some more kind of in-bus improvements right there. Which brings us to this morning. We got up at like 5 o'clock, started kind of arranging some of the stuff in the bus, went down with Noah and HJ and kind of did a quick inventory of all the guns, all the really important stuff, to include silencers and stuff that do not want to lose. Did all that, got that stuff loaded, kind of loaded the rest of the stuff on, and then good friend Brenda, who was there, ended up making everyone this amazing breakfast. Started off right, and once we did that, kind of loaded up and got on the road. The first stop wasn't too far away, basically about 1 mile east, still in the Idaho side before we turned around and started heading west. But went over there, go ahead and fill up the tank, in part because I wanted to top off the tank. Didn't have a chance earlier, running around going crazy, and the diesel was going to be cheaper there than probably other stops along the way for a while anyway. So went over there, got it filled up, had my boys at work cleaning the windows. Noah went around, got all the tire pressure, slowly kind of finding our SOP for all the stops whenever we get to truck stops, things along those lines. But topped up with fuel, headed out, and right now we are heading kind of southwest, making our way down towards Grant Pass, which is going to be the first stop for a couple days. As we're going that way, everyone's staying busy. Boys are stamping envelopes, making the little grab bags for all the people that are coming to the range days, and yeah, making it happen. Really excited to get this thing moving. It's been an idea that's been in my head for a couple years now. I think I talked about it on Kevin's podcast probably like 2 years ago. Kind of pitched it somewhat, and now it's happening. And I'm incredibly grateful for all of you that have been supporting it, like actually shared in the vision. Really and truly grateful, and I'm excited to see what happens. Like, it's going to be an adventure, a grand adventure, and it's going to be cool. There has been and will be setbacks dealing with some little stuff right now, but part of the game, man. So gonna keep rolling, and we'll get what we get, but it's gonna be good. So as always, thanks for joining us at kitbatcher.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.